We got to do that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna now um, welcome in Youri Kemp of Arawak Media. He's a journalist at the Tribune Media, Bahamas, and previously held title of Associated Managing Editor at Caribbean News Now. Good morning, Youri Kemp. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. James. All is well. Thank you for having me on your show.
Of course, of course. Let me tell my engineer turn up his volume a little bit because my headphones there so I could hear him better. Um, uh, uh, okay, good. Yeah, and you could turn up your mic as well, Mr. Kemp.
Okay, let me try.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see here.
Don't sound better
Microphone.
already.
Oh, can you hear me good now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, very good, very good.
Yeah, get a little closer to your mic and the song ain't good. Where are you right now, sir?
I'm in Nassau, Bahamas.
NASA. How is NASA doing?
It's okay, we just now came off of the emergency orders last week, Saturday. And so this is really our first week. We ended our first week on Saturday off of curfew and locked an emergency order. So we're getting back to normal. But we know the coronavirus is far from being over, but everything's going okay.
Okay. And you've been in NASA all along?
Yeah, all this time, all this time. Well, I studied in Florida for a while, and I also studied in the United Kingdom for a while as well. And I came back home to decide to help out here.
Okay, good. Where were you when Dorian devastated the Bahamas?
Oh, I was right here now. So I just now started the Tribune newspaper that very same month in September. So just
Wow.
as soon as I started the Tribune, Dorian hit. That was my very first story.
That was 2019, right?
Yeah, 2019. Yep,
Okay, good. Now, Abaco is closer to Freeport or NASA?
closer to Freeport.
Closer to Freeport. Okay. And how has the recovery been? It's been a while. Been 2 years. I mean, we got hit 2 years before that with Herman Maria. But how are you guys making out? Because that was rain for an extended amount of time, like no jurisdiction had ever seen for a long, long time.
I know. Homes are still destroyed, and people still need to get their lives together. The only good spot is that there are a lot of second homeowners that are coming back to Abaco, trying to rebuild their homes. So that's bringing some added help to the people on the ground there, but things are still in a bad state.
Let me ask this
Dorian.
let me ask you this question: how we were getting such excellent visuals of homes underwater? What kind of camera systems these people had in their homes? No, I'm serious because you're laughing, but we were seeing fish and shark and things just rolling through people's house like and just hanging out. I've never seen anything like that. That was the freakiest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know. Since the social media revolution, everyone got their smartphones. Everyone thinks they're photojournalists. So
Yeah.
they've been doing it like crazy, man. You gotta thank BTC, Flow BTC, and you gotta thank Allied Cable Bahamas. Cable Bahamas, yeah. You gotta thank them for giving us good internet service, so we could take all these pictures and we could share them with people. So we look at how devastating it was. But it was a scary time, though. People were really afraid, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was well, but what don't kill you make you stronger, right? So that's how us
That's
Caribbean
right.
folk are. So we will be a better people because of that. Now, who is Yuri Kemp? Introduce yourself from a professional career educational background. You say you went to school in Florida. So
Yeah.
the floor is yours. Go right ahead. Introduce yourself to the public.
Thank you, Mr. James. My name is Youri Kemp. I'm a Bahamian, Nassau, Bahamas, born and bred. Uh, I'm a journalist by accident, actually. I actually started my first degree was in psychology, believe that or not. But I found that I wasn't making any money, so I decided to go back to school. I went to the United Kingdom to the London School of Economics and did a master's degree in political economy. Then I came back. I thought I was going to get into banking, so I did another certification from Cornell University in financial management, but I couldn't find a job in banking. And so I accidentally started working for a media company, Caribbean News Now, writing op-eds. I was introduced to Barry Randall, my former editor at Caribbean News Now, having asked him to submit op-eds to Caribbean News Now when I was working with the IDB, the Inter-American Development Bank. Then it grew into a friendship, and then I asked him to start writing for him when I found all the job opportunities dried up. And so I just kept on, keeping on in the industry. I accidentally ended up being a journalist. And that's the best I could call it. I accidentally ended up being a journalist. And right now, while I'm working with the Tribune, I'm trying to build a Caribbean magazine plus my own brand, and as well as Arawak Media, which is a public relations company that owns Caribbean Magazine Plus, which I assume what you heard from me about for the Caribbean Magazine Plus with our contest. So with that, I'm trying to make the best of it. Now I'm also in law school now too. I'm doing a law degree I'm trying to get myself, on my feet, I'm also a failed candidate as well. I don't like to mention it as much, but since you want to talk about me a bit, I'm a failed political candidate as well. I ran for a third party here in the Bahamas, the Democratic National Alliance, back in 2017. We didn't win any seats, and that was enough to turn me off from it. So right now, I'm just a journalist trying to keep my head under the parapet, trying to do my best, trying to build Caribbean Magazine Plus and Arawak Media and all our various different contests and brands that we have going on out there. So that's what I'm about right now.
I've been a failed candidate too. I was successful. I served as a senator for 12 years, and I lost in 2012, and then I lost again in 18. So don't feel anyway. Don't believe you're out there by yourself. A lot of us know what it's like to lose. As a matter of fact, losing is supposed to build character. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing. And don't give up on that. Whatever you don't give up. Caribbean news now. You guys been online for a long time, right?
Caribbean News Now is now shut down because Barry Randall had died. He died back in 2018.
Yeah, because I used to see stories from Caribbean News Now on the line, online. So it doesn't exist anymore?
Well, someone hijacked the Facebook page. They don't have the actual website itself, and all the content that was on the old website is gone now. And so someone has hijacked the Facebook page, and they're trying to pretend like they're Caribbean News Now, but they're not Caribbean News Now because Barry Randall died in 2018. He was the heart and soul behind Caribbean News Now.
What's the name? Is that? What was that name?
Barry Randall.
Barry Randall. Okay.
Yeah. He was a British guy. He was an expat here for years throughout the Caribbean. He spent time in the Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas, St. Kitts and Nevis, the Cayman Islands. He's been around the Caribbean for quite a while before he passed away.
Well, since you added, enlighten my audience. What's the population of the Bahamas? And I know more people live in Nassau than Freeport. If you could break that down, ballpark figure. You don't have to be exact.
Okay, there's about 400,000 people in the Bahamas right now. And I would say roughly 300,000 live in Nassau alone, and the other 100,000 or so are scattered throughout the other islands. I would say about 75,000 live in Grand Bahama. And the other islands, they have like 500, 600, 700, 1,000, maybe 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 here and there. So Grand Bahama is the second largest population with about 75,000 people, but Nassau has about 275, 300,000 people on it. Believe that or not.
So in total, you're well over 350,000 people then?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, well over.
You're looking close to 400,000 people in Bahamas then?
Yep.
Wow. How y'all been making out with COVID? I mean, travel restrictions been shut down. The Virgin Islands has benefited from that. Somebody's loss is always somebody's gain. But as an American jurisdiction, we can't really put in the lockdown restrictions that the other independent islands in the archipelago have implemented. How you guys are making out?
Boy, like I said, we just came off of our emergency orders last week, Saturday. And that was the first time we've been off of emergency orders for the past, I would say, year and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was rough. The tourism industry shut down. People lost jobs. People lost homes. People lost a lot of stuff, man.
What about Atlantis?
Atlantis is reopened. They're opening up the Coral Towers, I think, this month, and they just had an event, the battle for the Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
It's a basketball event with some of the top college teams from the United States here.
Yeah,
and we had these teams as well. They had the University of Oregon. They had who else? They had the University of Florida here. They had several college teams battling for Atlantis here, and they do it every year. Every year around Thanksgiving time, they have the battle for Atlantis. So that's been pretty good. That's a pretty good boost throughout the Thanksgiving season for us.
And we actually have the Paradise Jam that goes on at the same time that the Battle Atlantis taking place, and we got universities here as well. With our tournament as well. It makes sense to come down this time of year, take advantage of the weather when it starts to get cold up north. And and they do that all the time. They go to Puerto Rico. They have tournaments in Hawaii. As a matter of fact, they have 2 tournaments in Hawaii. They have the Maui Invitational and they have the Rainbow Classic.
I heard about those.
Yeah, so they've been doing that as well. So basically, you guys are starting back, right? That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, we're starting back. Yeah, and we have our last major hotel to open up in January, Sandals Resort. They're about to open up in January, and they've been closed for the past 2 years now. They closed slightly before the lockdown as well, because our lockdown started, no, not 2 years. Yeah, our lockdown started in March 2020, Sandals closed on probably that end of February in anticipation of the lockdown. So it's been from March 2020 up until now, they've been closed, and they're going to reopen in January. So I've been told.
What has the government been doing to provide support for the residents and the people of the Bahamas?
Oh, there's a lot of money spent on social support, man. Millions of dollars spent on food assistance, unemployment assistance, national insurance benefit, top-up benefits, and those kinds of things. And I think it's done what it could, but I think it's about time people need to come off of that because they're going to drain the national security fund in a short order if it's not already drained. People need to get back to work.
Eventually, when you keep going to the well gonna run dry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, good. Just to give you to educate you, enlighten you about the Paradise Jam. Colorado State University, Bradley University, Creighton, Brown University, which is an Ivy League school, Northeastern University, Duquesne, that's out of Pittsburgh, Southern Illinois University, that's out of Carbondale, Illinois, and the University of Colorado. Those are the 8 universities participating in Paradise Jam here on St. Croix. That's the male version, and we have the ladies normally play the week before. We're going to take a break right now, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the poetry, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much.
You got it. We got Youri Kemp from the Bahamas, Nassau, like they say in the Bahamas, and we'll be back right after this.
The Virgin Islands Bureau of Motor Vehicles continues to streamline our services by making it easier to review any outstanding traffic tickets or liens against your vehicle before registration. You can visit www.paymentsvicourts.org, enter your name and other information to review the records. Next, just pay the fees you may owe right from your computer or mobile phone. Now you are ready to register your vehicle at any time, whether in person or from our website at bmv.vi.gov. For more information about this policy or regulations regarding liens for moving violations, go to the Virgin Islands Courts website at vicourts.org. So remember, know before you go and check your records online. And above everything else, please drive responsibly. This message is brought to you by the VI Bureau of Motor Vehicles, VI Superior Court, and VI Office of Highway Safety.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
I'm Manoush Zamarodi from the TED Radio Hour. Studies show that practicing gratitude can help us recover from loss, cope with stress, even sleep better. You can keep a journal or just write a thank you letter. This Giving Tuesday, you can also show your gratitude for public radio by donating to this NPR station. Here's how.
Head to WTJX.org and click the donate button. Thank you and happy holidays from WTJX.
And we're back here to analyze this, and we're honored and pleased to be joined by Mr. Youri Kemp out of the Bahamas. He is with Arawak Media. Good morning once again, sir.
Morning again, Mr. James.
Okay, good to have you on. So you got a book of poetry coming out when next month? December?
Yeah, in December, yeah. I just now finished editing the main content. I wrote my acknowledgement last night, and I'm waiting on the foreword from our evaluator, Kwame McPherson, who's been a godsend to us, man. He's giving us our foreword, and so we're probably going to publish that in the first week in December. We're going to go through Amazon, so that's ready. It's called The Sun. It's called Signs of the Sun, a short selection of poems from the 2021 Caribbean Magazine Plus Poetry Contest. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be really good.
Signs of the sun, S-U-N or S-O-N?
S-U-N, Signs of the Sun.
Okay, good. Yeah. Now, what got you into poetry? I know that based on you telling me about your background, you don't hesitate to delve into different areas: economics, journalism, law, all that stuff. Tell me about your love of poetry.
Well, I love the written arts. To be honest with you, I love literature. I love to read. I love to hear people get on and put their stuff on paper. You know, I'm a writer I'm a journalist by profession. I always loved the writing arts. You know, since I was a child, I always wrote in notebooks. I always, wrote rhymes and poetry when I was a young child. And so with this, I say, hey, something, since I'm a journalist and since I've seen Caribbean news now develop as an online news source, let me build my own news source and let me give people a platform. I always had in mind to give people a platform with this. And my thing is, it's not really about the poetry, but giving young persons out there a platform and a chance to shine, because this is sending your poem to us or your short story to us, and our short story competition that's going on right now as well. Saying that to us and having that published and having that vetted by a professional and for it to end up inside a book later on is better than sharing it at home with your Grammy or your auntie. Give yourself a chance, invest in yourself, enter the contest or enter our contest or competition, so we give you a chance to put you on the platform. And that I wish I had it when I was younger, when I was doing poetry, when I was writing stories. I would have been a lot further. I probably would have found my first love from the jump, but I bounced around. I did a lot of different stuff, and I ended up here by accident. And I think it was always God's will for me to end up here.
No, I know about that addiction. It's an addiction, I know about it. When I was I used to go to an Episcopalian school, St. Dunstan's, and I used to be our class representative, representing our class in the school newspaper. And from there, I just do a lot of writing. I like to write rap music. A lot of people don't know that, but I like to write rap music, and and of course, being from the Caribbean, and most rap music is basically an American thing, but melding the local twang from the Caribbean with the Yankee twang and all that stuff, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and you start sitting down and you got a pen in your hand and just writing, and it actually is just being creative is what it is, right?
Yes, it is. And it's also cathartic as well, It releases a lot of pressure and a lot of tension. It gives you a chance to express yourself in a way that only you and the people close around you can really appreciate and understand. You hope other persons could appreciate as well by looking into your spirit,
Yeah,
so
man.
put it down on paper.
Yeah.
And you want to have something? If it wasn't for Facebook, if it wasn't for social media, I never would have really developed my skills, because I put it down for the side. I put it down on the side. I said, I'll focus on math and I'll focus on economics and finance. But I had this latent skill all this time to write. I forgotten about it, But when I was high school, I always wanted to write, and I forgotten about it because I was trying to fit into the corporate world, trying to fit in where I didn't necessarily need to be in. And so, through Facebook and through social media, I started interacting with people, started writing long stories, and I started writing back and forth to the Caribbean news. Now, all of a sudden, it developed into a skill. And I ended up with the Tribune. I ended up with a fairly decent editor who was a good professional, who has been able to mold me and help me and shape me and get me more refined, being a better journalist, so I could do my job better, so I could build Caribbean Magazine Plus even better, and build Arawak Media even better now. So God is working all of his plans right through me. And there's a lot of things we want to do through Caribbean Magazine Plus and Arawak Media that's going to come on stream next year. Like I say, we have the poetry contest that we just finished. The book is coming out of poems, Signs of the Sun, coming on the first week in December. Then we also have the short story competition that ends in January 14th. And we want persons to enter that. So if you want, you could go to CaribbeanMagazinePlus.com or CaribMagPlus.com, and you could enter into our short story competition. We also have a speech competition as well, starting in February. And so we've partnered with the District 81 Toastmasters Association, and they're going to give us 4 bilingual Toastmasters, because, the Caribbean is not just English. There's Spanish, there's Dutch, there's French. Mm-hmm. So we want to get persons who could speak each individual language. So when persons start submitting their speeches to us, we could have someone who could evaluate those speeches, and that's going to be important. So that's going to come on in February. And then we're also planning a music and song competition in March 23rd. We have slated for the date, and we want everyone who has a music video, all the young artists who don't get to play on the radio station, who don't have a chance to really showcase their skills, we want them to send their music videos to us. And we're going to allow the people who are watching online through a webcast to be able to vote on which song they like the most. And whoever wins whoever gets the most votes, wins the contest, and they're going to get a prize from us, So we're all about the Caribbean culture and the Central American culture. We're all about that. And we're all about developing those young persons.
You got some big plans. You have this thing is well thought out. Youri Kemp.
Yeah, man. Yeah, God's been leading me into this path, man, and he's going to see it through to the end. It's not me. It's the God who strengthens me.
That's awesome. If I was to bring you to our local junior high school and high schoolers, what would you tell them if they had this this urge, the spirit that you spoke about, to write and to be creative? What advice would you give them?
My advice would be to take any medium that you have and just work with it. Do it. You're not sure when God's speaking to you. So I would first tell them consult God, listen to what the spirits are telling you, listen to what your pastor's telling you from the pulpit, from the altar. And then if he's telling you if you have a feeling that he's shaping you in a certain direction, go in that direction. It can't be wrong. And then you'll find yourself continually finding yourself into more and more situations and spaces where you have a chance to develop your skill, even a skill that you didn't even know you had. You're going to find yourself into that space, and you can't go wrong. You will never go wrong with that. Just continually hone your skills and use every opportunity that God gave you, because it's a gift, and you don't want to lose your gift, and you don't want to insult God by not using your gift, because He sent you here to do that. And whether you believe it or not, He's going to get what He wants out of you, whether you acknowledge it or not. So you might as well work with Him one time.
And we don't want the public to think that we are isolated to Christianity, because they got different religions as well. So you're speaking about whichever person they worship, right? Whichever God they worship, right? We're not being selective here, right?
Even higher power. Yeah, believe in a higher power. Actually, I just had a presentation for one of my law classes, Caribbean Civilizations, and my topic was on religion. And they said, analyze the impact of two separate religions in the Caribbean. And I chose Islam and Christianity. And of course, people have this idea that Islam is some far-off religion that has nothing to do with Christianity, but it's the same thing. Allah, Jehovah, and Yahweh is the same God of Abraham that the Jews and the Christians and the Muslims, they follow. The same God,
No, we as we get older, and your scope is broadened, you come to appreciate the other disciplines, and the other higher powers, but it's really about respect, isn't it? It's about respecting people and whom they choose to serve, right? For the most part.
Yes, it is. And that's the one thing about the journalism profession that I love. It gives you a liberal spirit, You can't be closed off and thinking that you can't talk to this person, you can't appreciate this person and that person. Everyone else has feelings, man. Everyone else has a spirit. And you have to approach people where they are. You just can't be closed off and say, oh, no, he's a Hindu. Oh, no, he's a Muslim. Oh, no, he practices Obe or Voodoo. No, you have to speak to people where they are. I just so happen to follow Christianity because I believe in the God of Abraham, and I believe in Jesus Christ. And I'm not going to fault you for believing in what you believe in. That's not the way I've been taught.
That's right. That's right. But like I said, as your scope broadens, you have a greater appreciation for us and for everybody, and that's the most important thing. Now, basically, this Caribbean. I want to get back to Caribbean Magazine Plus, because I like the way that you recognize that this is a Caribbean thing. This is not a Bahamian thing. Right?
No, it's a Caribbean
and for it to be a Caribbean thing, then you must understand the archipelago in its totality, right?
Yes.
And also the northern part of South America. Don't forget that, right?
Yes.
Because the French Guyana, which was on Suriname, right? Suriname is Dutch Guyana.
Dutch Guyana, yep.
And then you had the actual Guyana itself and French Guyana and all that. Then you have some of the Windward Islands where they speak patois, right? Yep. They speak that's the French dialect for the most part. And then you got Puerto Rico. That's and the Dominican Republic, Vieques, Culebra, the smaller islands, they speak Spanish, and then the remaining islands, the predominant language is English. And you mentioned all of them earlier, so that's how I know that you understand what really going on here. And that means that you're looking for local correspondence throughout the archipelago to make this thing work.
Oh, yes, indeed I am. Actually, I'm looking for a French speaker right now and a Spanish speaker to help us build our platform, I'm just trying to build up the revenue space now where I could bring on some other persons, but I have one person in Trinidad that's helping me right now. And, but she speaks English, all right? But I need a French speaker and a Spanish speaker. And hopefully we'll get a Dutch speaker. Maybe from this speech competition, we'll be able to garner persons who are eloquent, who have an interest in communicating. And we'll be able to pick someone from that group right there. But we're looking for some foreign language speakers next year for sure. And don't forget, it's not just the Caribbean; it's also Central America as well. Honduras, El Salvador, Panama. They share a similar history with us as well, and they're right with us.
Well, that's a good point you bring up, because I'm a sports junkie. Sports is my first love, right? And every 4 years. 2 years before the Olympics, we have the Central American and Caribbean Games. So you're absolutely correct. And of course, CARICOM speaks to to us recognizing that we are a region, even though CARICOM is more about the Caribbean islands than anything else. But you're right. Excluding the Central America would not be in our best interest. That's a good move.
No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be at all. And actually, let's go down further. You mentioned Guyana and South America. Let's also talk about Venezuela and Colombia as well. They're a part of it.
Yeah. Panama. What have you? So, as a matter of fact, the Central American and Caribbean games, they've had games in Colombia, in Medellin, and what have you. So you're absolutely and Venezuela. So you're absolutely. Correct. So you're trying to build capacity. Talk about that. Explain that to the public. When you're talking about the field of journalism, how you go. I mean, of course, you would appreciate somebody listening to you right now and then knocking on your door and telling you, look, I got $1.5 million to invest in this project that you got. But of course, that scenario does not happen every day or every week or every month. But explain about the capacity building aspect, because you're selling an idea that has value. People are going to consider what you're suggesting. Talk about that whole process, if you will.
Yeah, capacity building, it's really an arduous process. And I'm surprised I'm finding all this time, because in between law school and in between my main job, which I'm going to have to make some decisions very soon if I want to get serious about this. And I am serious about it, because this is going to help me finish through my law degree, right? With that, building capacity, we need to get more persons on board. We need more sponsorships, of course, and we need more persons to buy into what we're doing here. Facebook ads can only go so far. We need to have ads in every radio station, every newspaper, every major newspaper throughout the Caribbean islands and the Central American islands. We need to reach out to people. We want to garner the people. And so with that, we need to get a lot of stuff done. We also trying to engage with some other external partners, trying to get some funding in, because we want to also build another platform for podcasts next year as well. And so we're seeing some avenues with that as well. So we want to be a full-fledged multimedia public relations company with Arawak Media. We want to do a podcast. We want to continue with Caribbean Magazine Plus. And plus, we want to give all our viewers and all of our readers and our subscribers, we want to give them a chance to participate in as much competitions and contests as we could. And that's really important. That really builds everybody together. So once you get people buying into our products, buying into our contests, we can get the financing, we can move forward, we can do a lot of things for the Caribbean people, man. Give these young people, these people out there who never had a chance to shine before in their life, give them a chance to be a part of something and get on the front stage. That's my job here, providing a platform so people can get a chance to be promoted and get out there. That's what I do. From our poetry contest last time, the top two winners never published a poem in their life outside of talking to their Grammy or their auntie or their brother, their sister, And so that gave me a sense of accomplishment. I helped somebody. I'm giving somebody the confidence to be able to go out there and put themselves forward and give their ideas and share their thoughts and feelings with people on a mass scale. And when this book is published, I'm going to feel so relieved, because that's what we want to do. We want to give people that platform. And that's what builds capacity, the people. We want the people on our side. And we want people from the U.S. Virgin Islands, from the British Virgin Islands. We want people from Colombia, from Venezuela, from Costa Rica, from the Bahamas, from the Caymans, from Jamaica to Bermuda.
Turks and Caicos.
Yeah, Turks and Caicos. Yeah, Turks and Caicos, Florida even. We have a lot of Caribbean people in Florida and South and New York as well. Mm-hmm. We want to bring all the people. We want all the people who are ties to the Caribbean or Central America. We want all of them to play a part. Even the people in the United Kingdom and France right now. We want all of them to play a part. And that's what building capacity is. And so we have to build the infrastructure, and we have to get the tools in place to make sure everyone has a chance to participate with what we're doing. That's why the contests and the podcast are going to be very important next year. Very important.
What other platforms you're using? Because like me, even though I do Facebook, my primary platform is Twitter. So what other platforms we could access you on?
Oh boy, we're on all the social media platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. But Facebook is our mainstay, because that gives us all the advertising avenues that we need right now, outside of spending big mega bucks with the radio stations and the newspapers. Facebook is our main thing, and then we're finding some success on Instagram as well. A lot of people use Instagram. A lot of people like to look at pictures.
Instagram is very big. Youri Kemp, it was awesome talking to you.
Thank you so much.
And looking forward to communicating with you after air and regularly going forward, if it's okay with you.
Thank you. I'd be glad to come back on. Actually, when I finish publishing the book, maybe you could invite me back on.
Of course, most definitely. It was just nice talking to you, and thank you very much for being positive and looking out for the future, the region and our young people. I appreciate that. Okay.
Thanks so much, Mr. James. Have a good day.
Okay, you too. That's on Youri Kemp, Caribbean Magazine Plus, Arawak Media, joining us. Poetry book coming out next month and expanding a news platform. We'll be back right after this break.
The views and opinions expressed on Analyze This are entirely those of the on-air participants and do not reflect those of the station's board, management, staff, or underwriters.